Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. Yeah, here I am. And my name's Rochelle. And I just wanted to let you know we're going to do a questions, comments, and reactions on the podcast that is Just Say No. First, I wanted to say to everybody, I hope you're all doing well and that you're staying safe and staying inside. And let's just hope this is all over soon. It would really be nice for us all to get back to our everyday lives. But in the meantime, we have podcasts and blogs and Facebook and Twitter. So we have a lot of stuff to keep us busy. And so I wanted to go over some of the questions, comments, and reactions. So um, we'll dive right into that right now. See, the first question is, hi, I had wanted to say I had a drug problem. I still do. I, tur- I take Percocet and I am taking too many. I was prescribed them for pain originally, and I should have never taken them because I am a total mess now. I am looking at getting in rehab. Please pray for me. I am going to need it. And that's by Joshua. Well, Joshua, we will pray for you and we hope that you beat this addiction. And it's great that you know that you have a problem. So now you just have to act on it. And we do wish you luck. Okay, and the next one. Is it true they say Percocet is a gateway drug to heroin? Heroin, sorry. If I have Percocet, do you think I will end up on heroin? And that's by Cat. I've heard that Percocet, marijuana are gateway drugs to heroin, but I'm not, a professional, so this is just what I hear. Um, but um, I'd be careful on the Percocet. Just take what you're prescribed. Don't go over that. If you're having a problem, talk to your doctor and see if there's something that they could do for you with pain management. Because that's normally what Percocet is for. So I will pray for you and keep you in mind, Kat. Thank you so much for your comment. And the next one, my husband is going through the same thing your boyfriend was. He rages out when he doesn't have his pills or he's coming off of his high. The kids and I are really scared of what he might do. He has picked up a knife and wanted me to give him money for drugs. I work and I never know what I will find when I get home. The kids are now sleeping with me. We don't feel safe, and I don't want anything to happen to them. It's like we are being held hostage and can't get away. I called the police. There was no help at all. They gave me a pamphlet of numbers to call and shelters to go to. I feel at a loss and no one who will help us. I don't want to be in a shelter with my kids. That would be horrible. I threw him out and he came in a window and I was terrified. There needs to be more info and resources for the family of persons on drugs. There isn't much out there. How are we to feel safe? And that's from Shauna. Shauna, I'm really, sorry you had to go through this. Drugs are really bad, and it's really hard on families where there's a loved one that's addicted. There are different things that, like the pamphlets they hand you, the police officers and shelters and stuff. There's also groups that you can get into and things if you don't feel safe. There are other options. Um, I would look up some of the numbers he gave you and give them a call and see what they have to offer. There may be a way for you to get away safely. And I do wish you luck, and I will pray for you and your family. Thank you so much, Shauna. Take care. And let's see. The next one. Hello, my wife is hooked on Xanax for her anxiety, and she has been abusing for a long time now. She is supposed to take only two a day, and she takes around five at one time. Wow, that's a lot. When she runs out, she goes and buys more. I just don't know what to do with her. I don't want to leave her during this hard time, but I can only do so much for her. These drugs are just horrible, and I really think it's not the thing to give most. I am trying to get her in rehab, but she won't go. I gave up asking. She has to want it, and she doesn't. Wish us well. Thank you. And that's by Marion. Marion, I am sorry that your wife is addicted to anxiety medication, and I'm sorry that you have to go through this with her. Um, but I mean, you can keep talking to her. Maybe go to take her to counseling and see if you guys can make it work. It's gonna be hard, um, but hopefully she wants to go to rehab eventually, and you guys can get back to your life. Um, if not, I really can't say how things will work out for her for you. But see what you can find out. Do some research and see what you can find out that might be best for you and her. Okay. And I do wish you well. Thank you, Marianne. Okay. The next one. I take a few types of drugs. I don't want to say what, but I'm not a druggie. I may take extra, but that doesn't make me a druggie. I feel people these days are too judgmental and do not know what they are talking about. If we need to take a few more pills than normal, that's okay because it's given to me by my doctor. So it's legal to take them. I would never go to rehab. In your story, you pretty much said it doesn't work unless someone wants it to work. I am just fine here with my pills. And that's by Bachelor. um, Bachelor, I think you might be a little delusional um, because if you're taking more than what you're supposed to, then that's not normal. So, and hence comes the word druggie. I don't know what other drugs that you do take, but you say you take a few, and you may take extras. Now, you need to go to your doctor and see if there's something they can do. Because if they give you a prescription, let's say for two pills a day, and then you're taking five, that's not good. And, maybe people are too judgmental and so forth, but that's that's not what you're supposed to do with that medication, even if they give it to you, even if it's prescribed. If you go over the dosage amount, then that's a no-no. Unless your doctor says it's okay and it's on your prescription. So I do wish you well, and I hope everything works out for you, Bachelor. Thank you for your comment. And next we have drugs are a mofo, and they are many that are hooked on them. Many do not realize that they are hooked. I have very close loved ones who are hooked and claim they are not. They take too many of the pills the doctor gives them, but they say they are fine, no biggie. I wonder when it will end. They really need to lock down on the doctors that just dish out drugs like it's nothing. And that's by Caroline. Caroline. Caroline, I agree with you. Drugs are something else. And, you know, there are so many people hooked on them. I mean, you could just read up on it. It's just ridiculous. And like you say, many do not realize that they're hooked. They're just figuring, oh, a little here, a little there, extra pill there, extra pill there. But they're still abusing it because they're not taking the prescribed amount. And I'm really sorry that your loved ones are going through that. And maybe you can mention it to them. Try to talk to them and say, why don't we ask the doctor for to see if there's something else they can do if the pills aren't working or something like that. Just, try to see if it will help at all. Okay? And I wish you the best. Okay, Caroline. Thank you. And we have another one. We have some druggies in our area that are breaking into homes. Police really can't find who it is, and they just drive by every now and then. Like they're going to catch anyone that police, well, like anyone can catch anyone. Okay. Need to do a better job and take these drugs off the streets. And that's by Tammy. And yeah, I hear about that all the time. Druggies breaking into homes and, because they need things to sell in order to get their drugs. And I'm sorry the police are not doing anything to help your area. I mean, if you see them doing something, then I just call them, and eventually they're gonna get tired of you calling. Um, but why not? Just tell them they need, people's homes are being broken, if people's cars are being broken, if you guys keep calling them, they eventually will have to do something about it. The driving by is not like you say. It's, they see them coming. The thieves see them coming, or they know how long it's going to be before they get there. So they're a lot smarter than the police give them credit for. Okay, let's move on. Do you know why your boyfriend kept falling when he went to rehab? Maybe he should have chosen another rehab place after 3 fails. He should have looked around and tried others. Bill. Well, Bill, thank you so much for your comment and your question here. I do not know why he kept failing. I really thought that the reason he kept failing, because he'd come out after 7 days and he'd be clean. But the people that he got started on the drugs with were still working with him, and they were all on it together. So he went back to the same environment which he had came out of. And I just think it was too tempting. You're only good as the company you keep, right? So he kept going back to work with them, and they probably continued doing their whatever, drugs or whatever, and he fell back into it. And I mean, it happens. But I did try. I did try to help. I tried to be there. Um, I don't know. Maybe he should. Maybe we should have went into another rehab place after the third time. After the second time, even the third time, we should have just said, "Hey, you know, let's try something else." But we didn't. So that's that. But Bill, thank you so much for your comment and your question. We appreciate it. And then the next one, let's scroll up here. All three of my children are on drugs, and I don't know how that happened. They live with me, and I don't do drugs, nor have any in the house. I mean, maybe they found it on the street or at school. I want them to go to rehab, but they won't do it. I dropped my son off and at rehab, and he is the only one who wanted help, he said. Day later, I get a call. He left rehab when no one was watching. I'm at my wits' end with these kids. I don't want to throw them out. Then they will be on the streets, which is worse. I just don't know what to do. And that's by Blondie. Um, Blondie, first of all, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with this with your children. It's hard on adults. I could just imagine how hard it is on kids to be addicted to drugs. Depending on their ages, you didn't mention their ages, so there are options that you could do. I mean, if they're younger children, under 18, I'm sure there's things that you could do to have them admitted into a rehab facility. But I would look that up just to get confirmation on that. And I will pray for you and your family and keep you in mind. Thank you so much, Blondie. We appreciate your comments. Okay, let's see. I am sorry you had to go through that with your boyfriend. Sounds like it was a rough time for you. I know how hard it is to deal with someone on drugs and does not want to stop. I am dealing with this at the moment and it's hard as hell. Nothing prepares you for this. And that's by Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate your kind words to me. Yeah, it was a rough time. I never had to deal with that before, so it was rough. But I'm glad I can say that I'm out of that relationship and on to better things, and I feel much more at peace, which is important. So, things happen for a reason. But thank you so much for your comments, Crystal. Let's go to the next. I talk to my little kids about drugs all the time. I tell them they could tell me anything and we could work through it. I don't want them to feel they have to go elsewhere to get the support they need. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't thank God for my babies. Anna Leah. Anna Leah, that's great. I am so happy that you do talk to them all the time because it's important that they know what can happen and what drugs are, and just keep talking to them and supporting them like you said you're doing. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. That you're there for them. So you take care, Analia. Take care of those children. Thank you for your comments, hon. Okay. Here's one. I think you should have stayed by your boyfriend's side. I think with you and the children, not giving up on him would have helped him more. I know what you mean, and when you said enough is enough, but don't you ever wonder what if you stayed with him? We should always stay and fight for them. Don't leave when things don't work. You never know if it would have played how it would have played out. And that's by Carol Lee. Carol Lee, I stood by his side for a while. It wasn't something that just happened out of the blue. I mean, before we even went to rehab, we were dealing with it. And I had no idea that there were any drugs involved. And, so I stayed by his side. And my children were there as well. But there was nothing that we could have done. We tried it. We tried everything that there was to do to try to figure out what was wrong with him and so forth and so on, but it didn't work. And I mean, I had to get out of that situation. It could have went worse. It could have gotten worse. It could have gotten better, but we don't know. I had to get out of that situation and get the kids out of that situation. I don't need them being threatened, not feeling secure from somebody on drugs running rampant around the house. So I don't know if you went through it or not, you know, that's what you're speaking off of, your experience, but this one didn't work out. So thank you so much for your comment, Carolee. Okay, and on to the next one. He says, I'm glad you got out when you did, or you could have been dead. And that's by Donna. And thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. And I had seen for a while there was a lot of that going on, um, where there was men in a relationship just went crazy and killed his wife, girlfriend, the kids. He was on drugs or on some reason, anger problems, things like that. And I kept seeing so many women that were, dead. People didn't even know she was dead. So I just had to get myself out of there in case he ever tried something crazy like that with me. He did not, but I probably would have popped him upside the head with something if if he would have tried to hurt me like that. Yeah, we'd have been fighting. Just saying. But thank you so much. We appreciate your comment, Donna. Let's see. The next one. Run far away from that man and his family. He seems like a nightmare. His mother should have been ashamed of herself. What kind of woman is she? Blame her. She was the problem. And that's like Glenda. And you're right, Glenda. She should be very ashamed of herself. That she felt like she was helping him, I guess. I don't know why she gave him, kept giving him the drugs. And she did it all the time. So it was just like ridiculous. As far as her just handing him, here you go, like it's an aspirin or something. And there he was taking it, and then he kept running over there. It was just a nightmare. And I have ran far away from him and his family. I don't have anything to do with them, not one of them. I want nothing to do with them. Don't want to deal with them. Don't want to hear about them. I just want to live my life. That's it. And she is part of the problem. The mother was part of the problem. Thank you so much for your comment, Glenda. I appreciate it. And let's see. I have a friend that was in an abusive relationship due to drugs. Her boyfriend would go off on her when he didn't have his drugs. He beat her so badly and no one would help her. We found her dead after she'd been locked in the house for 2 days. He killed her. Did anyone reach out to help you? Maybe friends or family? If no one was there for you, they are a piece of shit for letting you go through that alone. Having friends to support you would have helped you, I'm sure. Sorry you had to deal with that. Take care. And that's by Michelle. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. And I am so sorry about your friend. I really am. See, that's what I was talking about. Um, with a, the question earlier. I can't remember who it was by. Um, that I could have been dead and nobody would have known because everything seemed fine. But that could have been me. They could have found locked in the house. That's just unbelievable. I am so sorry for your loss. I really am. And I hope that he got what he was deserving. I hope that he is locked away for a very long time. And as far as my friends and family, um, you know, there were some there for me. Not many, but that's okay. Sometimes you know who you could depend on and who you can't. So when things are going bad, most people hide. When things are going good, they're right by your side. So, my kids and, me are just like a tight bunch because we can't rely on anybody else. We have plenty of family, but we can't rely on anybody when it's time to actually really help. So, thank you so much. We appreciate your comment. And once again, I'm sorry for your loss. That's tragic. That really is. Thank you, Michelle, and you take care of yourself. And this is the end of the questions, comments, and reactions. I just wanted to take time out to say, everybody stay safe, please. This will be over soon, hopefully. And don't allow anyone to abuse you. If you can stop that, please stop it. That's what the Just Say No was about. Was about a relationship that went downhill from drugs, and he was abusive verbally, and it was just ridiculous. But you guys don't let anybody do that to you. Please don't do it. It's not fun. And I wanted to leave you with a quote, and it's healing is not an overnight process. It was a daily cleansing of pain. It is a daily healing of your life. And that's unknown, but I really liked it and I thought you guys would too. But you guys all take care and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.